When I was a kid, I'd skip classes. I'd go into the library for the afternoon and read comics all afternoon long. And this love of comics has stuck with me into adulthood, where I've read American, European, and Japanese comics. But as I would soon realize, while Japan is the most prominent publisher in Asia, it's far from the only one. China and Korea both have strong comic industries, which have been going for the better part of a century. The thing is, they've mostly focused on domestic markets. This is changing. Heaven Official's Blessing is an animated adaptation of a Chinese manhua produced by Bilibili.
仙乐，你来了。血雨探花。
With it being distributed by Netflix worldwide, it's gathered a strong following of fans who wanted to read the source material, people such as me, which got me thinking, this is just the first wave of manhua that are starting to creep into the mainstream. What took them so long?
就係呢一個市場其實唔知點樣去發布自己漫畫嘅。雖然互聯網非常之方便，但係咧始終香港冇一個大嘅平台去做。
重新看2000多期看段落了，但問題我就算喜歡看龍虎門，我不可能再往前小流氓那邊開始才看到現在。
華英雄大戰無敵。
在這一塊的話，就是我們現在的一個推廣的一個比較大的一個發展方向了。
Traditional publishers focused on print sales, and until recently didn't take the online and thus international markets seriously. Take, for example, the first manhua I ever read, Soul Land. It's got 1,500 chapters, which, to put it into context, puts it in the top 10 of comic series ever produced by volume. And yet, to this day, I still can't find a legal English translation. In the absence of a legal way to license these comics, a strong pirate culture developed in Asia in the 2000s.
咁我叫君不見啦，咁係一個漫畫家嚟嘅，已經試過將《明義之國》嘅第一回發布上去網上面，跟住咧喺一個禮拜之後 search 咧已經分佈晒各大嘅盜版網站嘅，跟住已經發現原來佢嘅速度係可以非常快。
Take Soul Land, for example. So the first result when I type it into Google is a pirate site. The second result, pirate site. Third result, we're starting to see a pattern here. The only legal site on the whole first page of Google is a wiki article.
Up she rises way, hey, and up she rises way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning.
Companies like Tencent Comic, Webtoon, or Kadokawa have, in the past couple of years, rolled out platforms to publish licensed comics. If we look at Soul Land on the Chinese internet, I can see the first chapters for free, and the rest are accessible behind a paywall. Legally. Well, problem solved. Not quite. As Linus Liu, who's been working in comics since the 1970s, puts it, piracy changed readers' relationships with comics forever.
佢哋會變咗因為太容易得到咧，佢哋唔會有一個珍惜呢個產品嗰個感覺。咁因為唔使俾錢買嘛，咁所以佢哋會覺得，佢哋會甚至乎會覺得你呢啲根本唔值錢，而會令到嗰個價值有機會降低。
Publishers like Culturecom have had to completely change the way they make money from manhua. They can no longer solely rely on comic sales.
有些根据了国内的那种别条漫或者什么呢，它也会根据不同的市场需要呢，也在改革。所以我们来说呢，除了是出版以外呢，在这个读者受众方面呢，透过不同的媒体，包括一些 IP 的授权啊，做电影啊、电视啊、游戏。
For the past 2 decades, Disney and companies like it have made more than half of their revenue from merchandising and cross-media ventures. It makes sense then that Soul Land, which is a Tencent property, has been adapted into an animated show, to a drama, a mobile game, and plenty of merchandise. This is how manhua publishers make money in a world where manhua doesn't. And it also applies to individual creators.
互聯網嘅傳播咧係無可厚非嘅一件事嚟嘅，只不過咧咁嘅話就會所以諗下會唔會有啲咩方式令到唔係直接用漫畫去賺錢，而係用其他嘅周邊嘅一啲嘢，譬如話你出一啲嘅精品啦，佢哋睇完你嘅作品之後好中意喎，會唔會去用一啲去其他方式去支持你啦咁樣？
Once the artists have built up a following, it becomes a viable way to make a living. But as with all content creators online nowadays, it is a long and hard path to get there.
咁可能會諗下點樣外銷去海外咧？點樣去同人哋合作有個產業鏈咧？ 因為我哋會可能唔同人會授權啊，去唔同嘅地方啊咁樣，去慢慢咧去慢慢發展起嚟咯。
Personally, I couldn't be more excited about the wave of manhua that are going to come to market that will be well translated and legal. I've had enough of terrible translations.
小子，敢骂我，找死！
Oh, come on, calm down.